We've departed from Amsterdam, embarking on a 5-day voyage in our floating home. It's a tough time of year to be sailing the North Sea, and we've got a tight weather window to make it to the Caledonian Canal in Scotland.
We're in the North Sea. It's a rough one.
Welcome to Sailing Jibsea. 2 years ago, we knew nothing about sailing, but took off from Canada with an urge for adventure. I'm Steph. This is Travis, and this is our home, Jibsea. We moved quickly, and in a short time have made it down south and even crossed an ocean, but we still have a whole lot more of the world to see. Subscribe and join our life on the water.
So we're just on a broad reach and 17 to 20 knots of wind. I think it's pretty comfortable so far. First 24 hours has a higher chances of being more rough because we're going to be right out in sea, and then the next day we're going to be kind of trying to hug close to land, cut the waves out. So far not so bad. Took the courtesy flag down, fold that guy up, and we'll throw up our United Kingdom flag when we get over there. But these are proper. They're a proper courtesy flag, and it was only €6, so just under 10 bucks. I don't know why, but every flag spot we went to in the States, like West Marine or even Map Place or any boat store, they're all like 30 bucks. These are 10 bucks. So they should be. About midday now. Winds have been anywhere from 20 to 30 knots, anywhere from after the beam to the beam. But we're holding our direction and we're moving quickly. I think we're averaging 7.5 knots. Flying by, hopefully it keeps up, because I'm trying to catch current when we get close to land again in the UK. The current I'm trying to catch is gonna kind of scoot us around the corner because it gets really, it's a heavy current. It could be against us up to 3 knots. So if I'm in 20 knots of wind going this way and 3 knots of current coming towards me, it's not gonna be comfortable. And there is a ton of shipping traffic. It's pretty crazy through the English Channel here, from the North Sea to the English Channel. We were probably sailing for about 2 hours through an anchor field of ships as well. 20, 30 miles offshore out of Amsterdam there, and it's still like 60 to 70 feet, so that's where all the big ships anchor. Morning. Steph's just about to go to bed.
Really nice sunrise there. Motor's on because we're kind of trying to dodge these windmills. There's a big windmill farm on our port side, and the winds have died down, so that's why it's really loud and annoying in the background right now with the motor going. But look at that. So pretty.
So pretty. Yeah, hopefully when we pass the windmills, we can aim in a different direction and potentially sail again. But yeah, it'll just be an hour or so motor. That's day 2. Had a good passage last night, made 145 nautical miles last 24 hours. So that's awesome. And we're taking the east coast of England up to a canal system that's going to lead us from the North Sea to the Inner Hebrides of Scotland. Goes right through the heart of Scotland, so really excited for that. We wanted to do it in the summertime, but it didn't make sense because it was really pricey, and all we would have done is went to the North Sea and then we would have turned around and headed back. So didn't expect this whole thing of where we're heading. So I'm really glad that the winds are in our favor to head this way, because there's been a ton of southwest winds, which if we were to take the south coast and then the west coast of the UK, the same way we took to get to the Netherlands, we would have been waiting weeks, maybe not even, like maybe even months for us to even get back to our final marina, which we're going to be hanging out for a few months, which we found one in Northern Ireland, about 24 hours, and it's going to get us to this one anchorage that I've seen. It's kind of an anchorage. It's right between some break walls, so it should be decent enough for us to just drop the hook. I don't think there's anything around, and we'll just rest for a day, and then we'll start up the next 2 days after that. And Steph and I are looking forward to going to the gym, and got a lot of boat projects to do, so yeah, it'll be a good little reset. Boat needs some love, so that was our plan. Oh, looks like we got a little hitchhiker. He's welcome on our boat. I had the motor about 50 minutes or so, close to an hour. I had the motor straight into shore. So this is where the strongest current's going to be. Once you can get onto this side, and over here you're going to lose the current. So I'm going to hug this coast all the way up. The closer the better. The closer you are to the coast, the less current you're going to get. That's what I'm noticing here. Once you round that point, at about another, if I can average 5 knots, about an hour, I'll be up in this other little nook.
Night number 2, and we snugged ourselves up pretty close to shore now. We're only about 2 nautical miles away from land, which is nice because now I get cell reception, which makes my night watch a little bit more entertaining. Travis is just down for a nap right now before his night watch starts. And I'm just hoping that the winds will continue to fill our sails enough right now that we can continue pushing through nighttime with our sails versus having to turn on the motor, because we're not going very fast. The winds have died down to like 8 knots right now, so we're only moving about 3.5. But I know we don't really prefer to go less than like 3 knots. 3.5 is kind of like, okay, we're going slow, but we'll continue pushing on. I just don't want to turn on the motor at night because we can't see any fish traps or buoys that aren't lit in the water. Since we are so close to shore, there's just a lot more of them. Nighttime, you can't see them, so I just don't want to be going over them if they are in our path with the motor running and the prop spinning, because that would be a mess like we've experienced once before. We definitely don't want to go through that again. Speak of the devil, pops his head up. You heard the wind dying?
I don't know. I just kind of woke up and I don't know, I was like, that's more than an hour.
It was. I gave you extra time to sleep because I figured you were tired. If you could actually go down without the motor running, remember this.
I probably could still be sleeping, but... Winds have picked up a bit. 7. At least they're behind the beam at the moment, so we're making pretty dang good ground.
It's the morning and we are in England. We pulled into an anchorage at about 6:30 this morning off of South Shields, and it's a great spot if we needed to reprovision, get off the boat, stretch our legs, because there's a lot of stuff around. But it's not the greatest of days outside. It's rainy, cloudy, cold, and the wind has started to pipe up. So we're not going to make landfall here. We're just using it as a rest stop. We got a few hours of sleep last night, which was really nice, and then I think today it's just going to be a chill day. We're going to stay on board here, just relax before we head off again tomorrow morning for another 2-day sail all the way up to Inverness. I think we've got to make it all the way up there because there aren't really any anchorages that we had in mind, or that we saw anyway, along the way until we pretty much get to Inverness. So we got to make it there. But yeah, I'm not mad about having to just stay on board today and relax. Oh, hi Travis.
Well, I'm just looking at the weather now, and if we don't get there in 2 days, the winds in the North Sea pick up quite a lot, like up into the 30 pluses. So we want to get into Scotland by that point in a safer area. But I'm also looking now, and I'm contemplating and I'm looking at currents and stuff like that. We might be able to leave today as well. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so I can raise my take down my quarantine flag, and I'll raise my my check-in flag. Oh, okay, perfect. That makes it easy. So when we get there, we'll just continue on through the canal, I guess.
That was actually the Border Force officer who called us just now to give us clearance into the UK. We've checked into the UK a few times before because we've been here, and it's always been online, really straightforward, and we're given a phone call or an email granting us allowance to be here for the 6 months that we're allowed as Canadians. This time it was just a little bit more confusing, I think, because we were checking into UK waters, because technically we've arrived in UK waters, we want to report our arrival, but we weren't sure whether or not we were going to make landfall in England or in Scotland first. So we sent it to England, and then I guess it got switched back and forth between England and Scotland. But Scotland over at Inverness just gave us the okay to be here. So now we're all checked in. We don't have to worry about any of that, and we can just continue on. But I guess it was just the confusion came from us not actually making landfall in England, and they said it was kind of a gray area because we're technically in England waters, where England would be the region handling our customs and immigrations. But because we weren't making landfall until Scotland, they kind of sent it over to them, and it was back and forth all morning, but we got it done. We're all checked in, and we don't have to worry about any of that, and we can just carry on when we're ready to depart from here. And about 10 minutes after shooting that last clip, we decided to leave because the winds changed, and it looks like it's just in our best interest to go now so we can catch the winds to get there before some aggressive weather rolls in. Just made some soup. Soup warms the soul. It's really chilly out.
Yeah, if we waited till tomorrow, all we would have been doing is just hanging out, and there's enough winds to sail today, and then the seas would have only been bigger tomorrow. So I think this puts us in a better time of our arrival when we finally get to Scotland. It puts us in midday, not in the dark first thing in the morning. So decided to leave.
It's not the most comfortable right now. We always hear people saying that downwind sailing's great, but I don't know, for us, I don't particularly enjoy it because it's kind of messy feeling sometimes. Like, we've had more sloshy feeling downwind sails than good ones. We have had good ones, but you kind of get this pull side to side, and it's not the best because we can't really anticipate it. It's just messy. So, yeah, I don't know. If we get a spinnaker down the line, that might help. I don't know if it'll make the comfort of downwind sailing better for us. We just haven't sailed with one, so we don't know what it's like. But I would imagine that it's a little bit better than what we normally get.
Well, the problem is when the wind's at 120 degrees apparent, you can keep both sails filled, and then every so often we get this really big wave like that one, and it throws the boat. But what we're going to fight tonight is the wind starts to veer more up, right off the...
Like more downwind, straight downwind.
Yeah, almost straight downwind. So right now we're kind of aiming further off our destination because I'm hoping that tonight I can just change to a different tack and keep it on a 120, and then we'll aim more on our heading. I'm hoping that's the case because
We'll get a more comfortable sleep that way too, instead of getting pushed side to side.
yeah, because right now the seas are really beamy, and if you're downwind on a beamy sea, it becomes very hard to keep the sails full.
It's more of an aggressive push, I would say.
Well, it's because the boat's doing this, but the wind's pushing the boat back, so then it just throws the wind all over the place.
We're just coming into the morning light, and it was pretty uneventful, other than it not being too comfortable because we've just it's just been sloshy this side to side. And the best part was having this sleeping bag here, keeping me warm, so at least I was comfortable that way. No shipping traffic, just a couple of buoys to look out for. And I think maybe they're oil rigs, or I don't know, some sort of something coming up on AIS. It looks like a boat, but they're not moving. It says restricted maneuverability, so uneventful otherwise, which is good. Could have just been a little bit more comfortable. Hopefully the sloshiness kind of eases off so we don't have this for the rest of our sail, or the wind clocks a bit, because right now we're straight downwind and I don't like straight downwind. So yeah, Travis should be getting up soon. I'm probably going to attempt to put something in the oven for breakfast. I think that might be a little bit easier than trying to hover over the stove and hold pans and stuff down as we're going to push side to side. Just shut the oven door and let it do its thing. Might be a little bit easier, but we'll see.
So it's midday on day 4, and we're still trucking along at 8.5 to 9 knots right now. Got 25 plus knots of wind, and we're wing on wing right now, just plummeting along. But yeah, the nights are getting real cold. We brought our sleeping bag out here. Even in the day I'll be hanging out in it. It's made a huge difference. Yeah, I can't tell you how awesome it is to have an enclosure already. It's already saved our ass so much on just being freezing. I would say our enclosure in these climates is probably one of the best items on the boat. Keeps the wind out, keeps the rain out, and it's just feels a lot more comfortable. About 2 hours, maybe 3, before we can round this corner, and then it should be a lot calmer out here. We also have like a knot and a half current against us, which we're in 20 plus knots against the current, so yeah, that's going to create some uncomfortable seas. But that's it. We're in the North Sea. It's a rough one.
Okay.
So you just gotta let the jib sheet out. I'm gonna furl it in, then pull the pole.
Okay.
Oh, birds! Watch out, birds!
Where?
Right in front.
Where?
Yeah, right there.
We can see what's coming.
No, we hit one last night. He was sleeping, big booby.
Oh.
I watched him and he just like bumped off the side of the boat.
Too fast. Now that we've tacked, it's a lot more comfortable. The sea state isn't as messy and down below isn't as crazy. We've kind of just been eating quick frozen foods that we pop into the oven, like chicken fingers, frozen pizzas, stuff like that. And I don't really consider that real food. It just doesn't really feel as, I don't know, like satisfying. So I'm excited to actually make something half decent for dinner. Gonna do the chicken vegetable stir fry with noodles that we can enjoy before our night watches. The only thing that sucks about cooking underway right now at nighttime is that when washing the produce, washing dishes, the water that comes out of the tap is so cold and my hands are just permanently frozen, it feels like, because it takes forever for them to warm up. But that is the least of my worries right now. I'm kind of just happy that it's settled down a bit because for the most part it's been kind of uncomfortable. So and we are done. Quick and easy. Are you ready for dinner?
We averaged about 5.5, 6 knots throughout the night. It's pretty good, made really good ground. I thought we were gonna be here a lot later.